Most men waste their energy trying to prove their worth, but the real power lies in seeing her hidden design. Men believe attraction is built with money, status, or perfect words. They're wrong. The true key is understanding her unconscious psychology, her secret sensitivities, the automatic reactions even she doesn't fully control. Just like men, women operate from a place of deep, often unspoken, desires. The issue is, most men are blind to these levers. Today, we reveal the overlooked vulnerabilities in the feminine psyche. Master these, and you transform every interaction. 1. The anchor of emotional stillness. Women experience the world through feeling. It's not instability. It's their native language. They don't just listen to your statements. They sense your energy. This is where men stumble. They argue with logic while their body broadcasts anxiety, need, and fear. Attraction for a woman ignites when her nervous system detects safety, not from your appearance or wit, but from the unshakable calm in your being. Because instinctively, every woman is asking one question. Does this man possess emotional sovereignty? Can he be my anchor when my own emotions become a storm? It's not physical strength that compels her. It's the man whose core doesn't tremble. When you meet, her mirror neurons sync with your state. If your energy is shaky, she feels it as her own unease. If you are centered, she relaxes without understanding why. This is neuroharmony. Her biology reads your emotional command as protection, and protection is the unexpected bedrock of passion. That's why volatility destroys attraction. It's not about petty drama. It's about primal survival. Her ancient brain evolved to avoid men who lose control, because historically, such men meant peril and chaos. You're not merely boring her. You're setting off an evolutionary alarm. Now consider the opposite. A man who remains still inside conflict becomes a sanctuary. When she unleashes chaos, he contains it and returns order. When she cries, he doesn't rush to solve it. He provides a silent, steady space for her storm to pass. This is the hidden dynamic. Feminine emotion seeks masculine steadiness. This isn't about hiding your feelings, but mastering their flow. In psychological terms, this is integrating your inner world. When a man doesn't fight his emotional nature, but directs it with intention, he rides the waves instead of sinking. That man projects a profound peace, not because his life is perfect, but because he is rooted. The Stoics call this apatheia, freedom from destructive passions. To a woman, it feels like entering a fortress nothing can breach. That's why she returns. Not for excitement, but because in your presence, her system finds rest. See the paradox? She will test your calm precisely to experience it. Her emotional weather is an assault. It's a request for you to lead. If you match your frenzy, you join her turbulence. If you stay composed, you pull her into your orbit. You become the immovable peak, and she, the breeze that dances around it. Emotional stillness isn't passive. It's silent authority. The kind that doesn't need to yell or prove. It's when your essence communicates before you speak. She may not logically know why she trusts you, but her body does. Because in a world of shouting, the man who is quiet within becomes extraordinary. He doesn't debate, justify, or react. He witnesses. And through that witnessing, he wins. Philosophers have always taught this. Stoics called it virtue. Buddhists call it equanimity. Psychologists call it regulation. But to a woman, it's simply this. He feels like home. And a true home in a fractured world is the ultimate form of strength. When you govern your inner state, you become the man her nervous system recognizes, not just her thoughts. Her mind may admire many, but her instincts will yield only to one, the man who cannot be moved. 2. The magnetic pull of mystery. Desire thrives on the almost, not the already. This principle is etched into human consciousness. The instant something is fully within grasp, the mind discounts its value. Certainty extinguishes intrigue, and intrigue is the fuel of attraction. Every woman is guided by the same rule, scarcity. The less available something feels, the more her brain releases dopamine, the chemical of the hunt, not the catch. She doesn't yearn for what she possesses. She yearns for what lingers just out of reach. Diamonds fascinate us not because they are carbon, but because they are rare. That's the secret most men miss. Her draw isn't to your constant availability. It's to your slight elusiveness. The female psyche evolved to interpret subtle signals. When a man's inner world is a puzzle, her mind fixates on solving it. When he lays everything bare, her interest fades because the discovery is over. Neuroscience confirms this through the dopamine loop. Our reward circuitry fires for anticipation, not satiation. The waiting, the uncertainty, the not knowing. This creates tiny chemical bursts, forging a pattern similar to addiction. This is why women often fall not for the man who adores them most openly, but for the man whose depth they cannot fully see. He becomes a screen for her dreams, a page for her story. In his quiet, she imagines the man he could be. Philosophers understood this long ago. Desire is the gap between wanting and having. The moment we own the object of our longing, the magic dims. This is the beautiful tension of pursuit. And this is what most men get backwards. Women don't chase affection. They chase emotional resonance. The man who is too available smothers that resonance. He kills mystery by flooding her with constant contact, messages, and approval. Instead of stimulating her wonder, he gives her answers. And answers are the end of desire. Conversely, the man with a full life beyond her, whose world turns with or without her, becomes psychologically captivating because his time carries weight. His absence is noticed, and his unpredictability triggers the ancient chase in her DNA. Do not mistake this for game playing. The aim is to maintain substance. When a man's purpose is vaster than a relationship, a woman feels drawn into that gravity. She doesn't desire to be your entire universe. She wants to visit a universe that already shines. This is why history's impactful men, artists, leaders, thinkers, were never fixated on women. They were consumed by their calling. And women, sensing the gravitational pull of that mission, gravitate toward its flame, because a man who belongs to himself can never be fully possessed. And that makes him indelible. So, how do you live this? You make your absence meaningful. You reveal yourself in layers, like a novel, not all at once. You let her be curious. You craft pauses where her mind must fill the silence. You leave room for questions, because questions build a bridge to longing. Understand. Once a woman feels she has completely deciphered you, her primal drive sleeps. She doesn't stop caring. She stops feeling. The spark dims because the tension between desire and possession is gone. But when you keep a part of yourself, your inner world, your focus, your time, just beyond her reach, she will continually reach. Not because she enjoys tricks, but because your mystery reawakens a part of her that believes in wonder. To be mysterious isn't to be cold. It is to be so complete in your own journey that she must step into your world. Because the moment she senses you could live a fulfilling life without her, is the moment she decides she must be part of it. 3. The unseen power of presence and voice. One of the most underrated triggers of attraction is a resonant, steady voice coupled with a grounded presence. Studies indicate men with deeper voices are seen as more self-assured, charismatic, and leading. This isn't arbitrary. It's wired into our evolution. A lower pitch subconsciously signals strength, masculinity, and leadership, qualities women are instinctually drawn to. But it's more than your vocal cords. Your entire aura speaks. Women respond to men who can claim space without force. Presence is what you emit before uttering a word. Your stance, your movement, your response to your environment. A man with this quality moves with intent, without rush or fuss. He meets her gaze comfortably and speaks with measured pace, as if each word has value. In contrast, a weak presence announces itself through slumped shoulders, fidgeting, and a timid voice. These details signal a lack of confidence, even if you don't realize it. To captivate a woman without effort, cultivate this presence. The more calm and self-possessed you seem, the more compelling your words become when you choose to use them. For the ultimate trigger is your ability to walk away. To reach a woman profoundly, never chase her. Let her feel you could leave at any moment and still be at peace. Because deep down, a woman's most powerful emotional switch isn't desire. It's the fear of loss. She doesn't fear your anger or quiet. She fears you not being there. This isn't mean. It's a fundamental psychological truth. What we might lose becomes infinitely precious. In behavior science, this is loss aversion. We feel the pain of losing something twice as sharply as the joy of gaining it. For a woman, this operates beneath awareness and attraction. The second she senses your presence is guaranteed, her nervous system grows numb to it. Predictability breeds emotional indifference. But when she feels you could depart, that your attention, time, and energy are privileges to be earned, her mind starts circling you. She begins picturing life without your stabilizing force. The emptiness, the quiet, the lack of your anchor. And that fear softly morphs into fascination, because every woman unconsciously wants a man who could leave, but consciously decides to stay. See the paradox here? Most men lose power when they sense her pulling away. They panic. They text incessantly, over-explain, plead for understanding. They trade their respect for reassurance, and in doing so, reveal their core weakness. Their sense of self depends on her reaction. Women don't test to break you. They test to find your center. When she withdraws warmth, she's not asking, will you chase me? She's silently asking, will you remain who you are when I step back? If you collapse, she knows your strength was a facade. But if you stay calm, rooted, and self-sufficient, she feels something ancient stir. It's respect. The Stoics called it inner sovereignty, the freedom from emotional slavery, to act from principle even when emotion urges a reaction, to stay centered when others use chaos as a tool. A man who can walk away doesn't do it to hurt her. He does it because his self-respect is non-negotiable. He has learned the art of non-attachment, the capacity to love deeply without losing himself. When a woman senses that caliber of power, her view of you shifts entirely. You cease to be the man who needs her. You become the man she could lose. And that change rewires her entire emotional framework. Because women don't value unlimited attention. They value chosen attention. If your time is cheap, your presence feels light. But if your focus feels sacred, granted only to what aligns with your peace, she treats it as a treasure. You must see that women are intuitive economists. They measure your worth not by what you give, but by what you hold back. A man who gives everything has nothing left to guard. A man who can leave yet stays by choice becomes irresistible, because his affection feels earned, not automatic. Psychologically, this is intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism behind addiction. It's the unpredictability that keeps the mind engaged. When you stop overgiving, over-explaining, over-proving, you create space. And in that space, her imagination begins working for you. This isn't manipulation. It's integrity. When you no longer crave her validation, your energy becomes purer. You stop leaking neediness and start radiating being. And the irony is, the less you need her, the more she needs your energy. The rule is timeless. Be prepared to walk away from anything that asks you to betray yourself. Because a man who can leave commands attention, and a man who can stay without clinging wins devotion. So, let her feel your absence as clearly as your presence, not through punishing silence, but through an inner peace she cannot disrupt. That peace, that core independence, is the most irresistible trait a man can have. Because the man who doesn't chase doesn't lose women. He resets their entire standard for what a man can be. 5. A man on a mission is her kryptonite. A woman's deepest weakness isn't a man's face, wallet, or smooth talk. It's a direction. His unshakable sense that he is here for something bigger than pleasure, praise, or even her. Because purpose is the one thing a woman cannot counterfeit, copy, or replace. It's the core of masculine magnetism, the invisible force that pulls everything into its field. A man with a mission doesn't pursue. He progresses, and the world adjusts to his motion. Women are instinctively pulled to this energy because, biologically, it signals evolutionary security. A man guided by vision is predictable in the vital way. His actions are tied to meaning, not mood. The man without purpose drifts, reacting, clinging, and crumbling under every emotional tide. He may have fire, but it burns aimlessly, destroying rather than guiding. A woman senses this difference immediately. When a man wakes each day for a reason that exists beyond her, she feels his emotional autonomy. And paradoxically, that autonomy makes her want connection more, because it touches a deep psychological need to align with strength, not repair weakness. From an evolutionary view, women have always allied with a man who could shape reality, the provider, the creator, the leader, not because she worships him, but because his stability grants her emotional permission to open. It's not submission to control. It's surrender to a shared direction. This is a drive to expand, to overcome, to create form from chaos. A woman feels this drive not in your speeches, but in your rhythm. How you handle failure, how you rebuild, how you keep your eyes on the horizon while others curse the weather. That rhythm is masculine potency in action. It is the man who lives for meaning, not applause. To a woman, this man doesn't seem ordinary. He seems destined. Because while other men bend to circumstance, he bends circumstance to his vision. Now, here's the paradox most men never see. When you make her your mission, you kill her attraction. When you make your mission your core, you ignite it. A woman doesn't want to be the sun of your solar system. She wants to be welcomed into a galaxy already swirling. If you build that galaxy with focus and conviction, she'll feel privileged just to be near it. But if you orbit her, she'll eventually hunger for a man whose gravity is stronger than her own. That's why the man on a mission doesn't wait for her texts. He doesn't drop his work when she calls. He doesn't abandon his path for emotional convenience, because his loyalty is to something eternal, not passing sentiment. He is constructing, not begging. He is creating, not convincing. And that quiet certainty is what captivates women completely. Understand this. Women don't fall for men who want them. They fall for men who want something more than them. Because in that something more, that purpose, that mountain, that vision, she sees a reflection of the masculine archetype her biology is designed to follow. When she meets such a man, her instinct doesn't whisper he's cute. It declares, if I follow him, I will evolve. That's the primal magic of attraction. Transformation through true leadership. Ask yourself, what are you building that would stand even if she left? What vision wakes you in the night? If you have none, you are already interchangeable. Because women don't leave men who are ascending. They leave men who have stopped growing. And once you grasp this, you'll quit chasing romance and start building power. You'll see that the rarest form of allure isn't physical or even emotional. It's spiritual. It's when your path shines so brightly that she chooses to walk beside you. Not because you require her, but because your light reminds her the part of herself that yearns to rise. That's the secret. The man with a mission doesn't ask for loyalty. He inspires it. 6. The art of disciplined openness. Vulnerability is a delicate balance. Excessive and you seem fragile. None and you seem distant. Women aren't attracted to men who bury their emotions, nor to men who are drowned by them. They are drawn to men who manage them, who can show their heart without crumbling under its weight. A modern misconception is that being open means total exposure. That's a mistake. Women don't want to nurse your turmoil. They want to witness your humanity under command. True connection starts when a man speaks from understanding, not chaos. You acknowledge what you feel, but your feelings don't run you. You speak of past wounds only once they become wisdom. You share your world in pieces, never as a messy explosion, always as a conscious choice. A man in control of himself creates tension effortlessly, because when he finally opens a door, it feels like a gift. She senses his restraint, that he could have stayed closed but chose to let her glimpse inside. That decision carries impact, and that impact turns openness into strength. But when a man overshares, complaining, seeking sympathy, or demanding constant comfort, he unknowingly places her above him. His emotions cease to be depth and become dependency, and that dependency silently erodes attraction. A man's emotional world should be like the sea, powerful, yet mostly calm. You sense its depth, but you respect its stillness. Women are drawn to men who can be gentle without being soft. Men whose vulnerability feels like fortitude, not defeat. Because real openness isn't a lack of control, it's command in action. 7. Her instinct to probe your frame. Most men don't recognize how frequently women test them. These aren't cruel games. They're hardwired. A woman's subconscious is forever searching for proof of your stability, self-mastery, and inner strength. She'll challenge your views to see if you waver. She'll spark minor disagreements to gauge your poise. She'll act uninterested to test if you'll seek her validation. None of this is random. It's her ancient radar scanning for emotional leadership. If you break under pressure, she feels insecure. If you react hastily, she senses fragility and attraction dwindles. Not because she dislikes you, but because your energy no longer makes her feel sheltered. The key is straightforward. Stay steady. When she tests you, don't explain, beg, or react. Breathe, watch, smile if appropriate. Respond with calm firmness, never anger. If she steps back, let her. If she returns, welcome her without making her pay. Her tests aren't attacks. They are doors to deeper faith. When you pass, she feels she can finally let go in your company. And remember, women don't test men they see no potential in. Testing means she's curious. It means she sees something. The risk isn't the test itself, but failing it with an emotional outburst. A man who stays calm under pressure becomes magnetic. Because to a woman, calm feels like true power. 8. Self-worth in the face of no. Most men dread rejection because they mistake it for defeat. But rejection isn't an ending. It's evidence of your own standards. It shows you're acting from selection, not desperation. Women are finely tuned to how a man handles a no. When you remain composed, offer a genuine smile, and walk away, you display an abundant mindset. The belief that no loss defines you. That confidence registers deeper than any pickup line ever could. Desperate men chase because they believe they have no other options. Grounded men simply continue because they know they themselves are the option. The instant she senses you don't need her, yes, her perception shifts. You stop being just another guy. You become the uncommon one who cannot be purchased with approval. If she says no, you say, no problem. I wish you the best. No resentment, no flattery, just clean, respectful detachment. That quiet self-respect disarms her. Because rejection only wounds those who build their identity on others' validation. Confidence, on the other hand, cannot be rejected. It's self-contained, unassailable, radiant. When you stop seeking permission to feel worthy, you become the prize. And soon, even those who turned you away may start chasing the calm they once overlooked. 9. The obsession born from intrigue. When a woman always knows exactly what you're thinking, she stops imagining. And when she stops imagining, she stops wanting. Curiosity is the engine of attraction. Mystery makes her mind work for you. This doesn't imply deceit. It implies self-ownership. You are thoughtful with your words, purposeful with your emotions, deliberate with your energy. You disclose yourself gradually, never all at once. Signs of overexposure are obvious. Instant replies, constant reassurance, emotional dumping. Each one murders intrigue because transparency without tension removes a spark, and spark is a foundation of longing. A man of value doesn't hide. He simply doesn't feel compelled to explain himself to be valued. He operates at his own tempo, generating an air of gentle unpredictability. She never quite knows his next thought, and that keeps her thoughts on him. It's not mystery for ego's sake. It's the preservation of your own sovereignty. When she can't fully figure you out, she feels both challenged and invigorated. Her emotions stir in the spaces your silence provides. Remember, it's not what you reveal that pulls her in. It's what you wisely hold back, keeping her curiosity alive. Because desire isn't built on full disclosure. It's built on the thrill of discovery. Don't chase temporary pleasure. Pursue lasting mastery. If this path resonates with you, show your support. Like this video and follow Winds of Thought for more. Keep walking the path less traveled.